It was a typical day in the bustling courtrooms of the state judicial complex in Florida, where high-stakes cases were heard every day. The room was filled with lawyers, defendants, plaintiffs, and spectators, all eagerly waiting for the day's proceedings to begin. Among the crowd was Pam Bondi, a respected and experienced attorney known for her strong stance on justice and unwavering personal values. She walked into the courtroom, head held high, with her usual sense of confidence. She had dealt with many cases throughout her career, but today would prove to be unlike any other. Pam was wearing a modest yet noticeable cross around her neck, a small, simple symbol of her faith. It was something she had worn every day for as long as she could remember. To her, it was not only a personal choice, but a reminder of her convictions, her beliefs, and the strength she drew from her faith. As she took her place at the counsel table, she noticed the judge, Judge Robert Hartman, a seasoned jurist known for his no-nonsense attitude and stern demeanor. Judge Hartman had a reputation for being strict about courtroom decorum, but no one had ever questioned his fairness or impartiality until now. After calling the court to order and allowing the attorneys to make their opening statements, Judge Hartman suddenly turned his gaze toward Pam Bondi, his eyes narrowing slightly. Judge Hartman, sternly, "Ms. Bondi, if you don't mind, could you remove that cross from your neck? This courtroom is a place of law and order, and we must ensure no religious symbols are worn while proceedings are underway." Pam Bondi, slightly surprised but composed, "Your Honor, I understand the importance of maintaining decorum in the courtroom, but my cross is a personal item. It's something that I wear for my faith, which I believe should not interfere with my professional duties. I have worn it in every courtroom, and it has never been an issue before." The room fell silent as the tension in the air became palpable. Bondi had seen her fair share of difficult judges, but this felt different. The judge's request, while seemingly small, struck a nerve. Her faith was an integral part of who she was, and it wasn't something she was willing to compromise, especially in the face of what appeared to be an attempt to limit her personal beliefs in a public setting. Judge Hartman, coldly, "Ms. Bondi, I understand your position, but this is a courtroom and we must maintain neutrality. The wearing of religious symbols during proceedings is a violation of the courtroom's dress code. If you refuse to comply, I will have no choice but to impose a fine." Pam Bondi's eyebrows furrowed slightly. This was no longer about a piece of jewelry. It was about freedom of expression and the limits placed on personal beliefs in professional spaces. Pam's calm demeanor didn't waver, but her mind was already working, calculating her response. She knew that challenging the judge could cost her, but she also knew that she couldn't let this pass unnoticed. Pam Bondi, firmly, without hesitation, "Your Honor, I respectfully disagree with your ruling. The First Amendment protects my right to practice and express my religion. I have every right to wear this cross as a symbol of my faith in this courtroom, just as I have every right to represent my client to the best of my ability. If you choose to impose a fine, I will accept it, but I will also be prepared to challenge it on constitutional grounds." The judge's eyes narrowed further, and the room remained tense as Judge Hartman processed her words. He had not expected such a defiant response from Bondi, a lawyer known for her professionalism and calm demeanor. This wasn't a simple courtroom disagreement over decorum. It had evolved into a constitutional issue that would force the court to grapple with the intersection of personal freedoms and professional expectations. Judge Hartman, leaning forward, "Very well, Ms. Bondi, I will issue a fine for the violation of courtroom decorum. You will be fined $500 for wearing the cross during these proceedings. You may choose to challenge the fine in the proper manner, but for now, this will stand." As the judge's gavel struck, signaling the end of the decision, the room was filled with murmurs. Pam Bondi remained standing, unshaken, her resolve stronger than ever. She knew that this was more than just about the fine. It was about standing up for what she believed in. She had anticipated this moment and had prepared herself for the fight ahead. Over the next few weeks, Pam Bondi's case became the subject of intense scrutiny, both in legal circles and in the media. The issue of personal expression in the courtroom was a topic that many had not considered before, and it quickly sparked debates about the balance between maintaining neutrality and protecting individual rights. Bondi's legal team was hard at work preparing to challenge the fine in court, arguing that it was an unconstitutional infringement on her First Amendment rights. The legal arguments were robust, and Bondi's team began to gather precedents that supported their case. Pam Bondi, addressing her team. We have to make a clear distinction between courtroom decorum and the rights of individuals. This isn't just about me wearing a cross. It's about setting a precedent for everyone who steps into a courtroom. If we allow this kind of action to stand, what's next? Will they be able to tell us how we speak, how we dress, or even what we believe in? Attorney 1. We have solid arguments for the First Amendment, Pam. The court cannot mandate the suppression of religious expression, especially when it doesn't interfere with the proceedings. We'll cite previous rulings where the freedom of religion and freedom of expression were upheld, even in public spaces. Pam Bondi, nodding. I'm ready for this fight. Let's show them that the law can work in favor of personal freedoms. We'll make sure that this becomes a case about more than just a fine. It's about protecting every American's right to express their beliefs, no matter the setting. The legal arguments for Pam's case began to take shape, and soon the media caught wind of the story. Bondi's case became a symbol for broader debates about freedom of religion and personal expression, especially in professional and public settings. As the case gained national attention, the courtroom drama escalated. After weeks of preparation, it was time for the court hearing to begin. The courtroom was packed with journalists, legal experts, and spectators, all eager to see how the case would unfold. Pam Bondi entered the courtroom with her usual poise, dressed in her professional attire and, of course, her cross. This time, there would be no question of her personal beliefs being silenced. As the judge entered and took his seat, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. This was more than just a legal dispute. It was a defining moment in the fight. For freedom of expression and religious liberty, Judge Hartman, addressing Bondi, his tone cold. Ms. Bondi, I trust you are ready to proceed with your challenge. I remind you that this is a court of law and we expect decorum to be maintained. Pam Bondi, calmly, but with authority. Your Honor, I am here today not only to challenge the fine that was imposed, but to protect the rights of every individual who steps foot in this courtroom. This is a matter of personal expression and constitutional rights. The First Amendment grants me the freedom to express my faith in public, and I will not be intimidated into surrendering that right. Attorney 2. The issue at hand is not whether courtroom decorum is important, but whether the court has the right to infringe upon an individual's religious expression. We submit that the First Amendment provides that freedom. The Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause both protect Ms. Bondi's right to wear a religious symbol while engaging in legal proceedings. The judge listened intently, but the air in the courtroom was thick with tension. Bondi's arguments were powerful, and her legal brilliance was on full display. She had not only prepared her case meticulously, but she had also anticipated every counter-argument the judge and the defense might offer. She was, as always, a step ahead. Finally, after hearing both sides, Judge Hartman spoke. Judge Hartman, pausing, then nodding. Ms. Bondi, your arguments are compelling. After reviewing the case, I find that the fine I imposed was indeed an overstep. While maintaining courtroom decorum is vital, it cannot come at the expense of one's fundamental rights. The fine is hereby dismissed. Pam Bondi, smiling with quiet satisfaction. Thank you, Your Honor. This is not just a victory for me. It's a victory for everyone who believes in the right to express themselves freely, regardless of the setting. In the end, Pam Bondi's legal brilliance shone through. Not only had she defended her own right to wear a cross in the courtroom, but she had also set an important legal precedent that would protect others in similar situations. Her victory was not just about one symbol, it was about standing firm, in the face of adversity and ensuring that personal freedoms were never compromised, even in a professional setting. The case became a landmark moment in the legal community, and Pam Bondi's unwavering commitment to justice was recognized by many as a testament to the strength of the American legal system and the fundamental rights that it is built upon.